Hi Krishna, and welcome to our special Leela on Balaji Govinda's pastimes. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mukakaroti Vachalam Panguram Gayate Yat Kripatamaham Nande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Namaham Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swaminiti Namine Namacharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradaine Gaurakata Damadaya Nagara Gramatarine Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today I will be referring to Srila Vadiraja Tirtha's Srinivasa Kalyana. Vadiraja Tirtha is one of very important Vaishnava acharyas in our sampradaya before the time of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he composed amazing poetry on this particular pastime of Balaji's wedding. So I'm going to be quoting that and explaining the pastime. I am very excited to be doing this service because this has been my childhood training to be reciting these songs, and the importance of this Srinivasa Kalyana is whoever recites this, like even 1,000 times, if somebody recites it 1,000 times, 1,00,000 times, there are these numbers. Any karma in regards to bad marriage or difficulties in marriage or people not being able to get married, this particular verses has the power to accelerate the process, and people who are not married can get a good husband and get married, and people who are having trouble in the marriage can relieve their difficulties of marriage. So this is a very beneficial mantra even for the practical grahastha life, because this is the Lord's wedding. We don't hear the story about Vishnu and Lakshmi getting married, right? There's no that kind of a pastime, but this is like special because it is Krishna's marriage. So as an introduction, Krishna in Dwapara Yuga grew up in Gokula in Vrindavan, where Mother Yashoda was very affectionately taking care of Krishna, and all our desires were fulfilled except one desire. She wanted to see Krishna being married. And although in Gokula, Radheya Manada Moda Mukunda, Radheya Manada Moda Mukunda, Shrida Vittalana Chanda Nayanananda Ananda Gopikil Ninna Magajara Ivachora Sukumara. So Mother Yashoda would get so many complaints about Krishna being naughty with the gopis, Krishna troubling the gopis, and how Srimati Radharani was the queen of Vrindavan who had conquered his heart. But somehow or another, Mother Yashoda could never witness Krishna being married. Krishna wanted to fulfill that desire. So Bakula Devi, we're talking about previous Kali Yuga. So in previous Kali Yuga, Bakula Devi is none other than Mother Yashoda, who came to Tirumala Hills, and she was waiting that Krishna will come one day. So that is one of the desires of one of the devotees. In Treta Yuga, when Lord Ramachandra appeared and Mother Sita was kidnapped by Ravana, it was actually not Sita who was kidnapped by Ravana. It was Maya Sita. whose name was Vedavati. So Vedavati did this great service to Lord Ram by going on behalf of Mother Sita and not allowing Sita to be kidnapped by Ravana. So when Agni Pariksha was done and Sita Devi entered the fire to prove her purity, who went in was Vedavati and who came out was Sita. So in that moment, the secret was revealed, and Ram was very, very pleased by Vedavati's service. So he asked Vedavati, what benediction do you want? And she said, marry me. And Ram said, I'm ekapatni vrathasta. I've taken a vow to marry only one wife, so I cannot marry you. I'm so sorry, but I will come in Kali Yuga, and in the Balaji pastime, I will marry you. So that is another story for which Balaji appeared to marry somebody who is none other than Vedavati, and the whole pastime happens. So in this way, the Lord is always fulfilling the desires of devotees, just like when Lord Ramachandra in Treta Yuga entered the Dandakaranya forest, and all these sages, they saw this beautiful, gorgeous, handsome form of Lord Ram. They got so fascinated by him that they desired to have a conjugal relationship with the Lord. And the Lord took notice of that spiritual desire. And then in Dwapara Yuga, these sages became the gopis. So in this way, the Lord is always taking note of all our spiritual desires, and he's making his plans to fulfill them in the most amazing, wonderful way possible. So that's the introduction of Balaji pastime. And I'm going to start a song. It's a poetry. I need a minute to go and switch off the lights. There are all these bugs who have come to listen to Srinivasa Kalyana pastime. And they're going to annoy us by entering the room and inviting me. So I have to go and turn off the light. They entered the room anyway. Okay. I am going to share the screen for those who understand. I think it's only Taruni Radha who understands this script, but this is for reference. Srimad Vadiraja Virachita Shri Srinivasa Kalyana. ಸ್ತ್ರೀಯರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಬನ್ನಿರೆ ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸನ ಪಾಡಿರೆ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಗುರುಗಳಿಗೆ ವಂದಿಸಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಕಥೆಯ ಪೇಳುವೆ ಗಂಗಾ ತೀರದಿ ಋಷಿಗಳು ಅಂದು ಯಾಗವ ಮಾಡಿದರು ಬಂದು ನರದ ನಿಂದುಕೊಂಡು ಆರಿಗೆಂದು ಕೇಳಲು ಅರಿತು ಬರಬೇಕು ಎನ್ನುತ್ತ ಆ ಮುನಿಯು ತೆರಳಿದ ಭೃಗು ಮುನಿಯು ತೆರಳಿದ ನಂದ ಗೋಪನ ಮಗನ ಕಂದಿನ ಮಂದಿರಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಬಂದನು ವೇದಗಳನೆ ಓದುತ್ತಾ ಹರಿಯನ್ನು ಕೊಂಡಾಡುತ್ತಾ. This is the beautiful setting on the banks of river Ganga. There was yagya and the fire sacrifices happening while all the sages assembled there were wondering who is the recipient of this particular yagya. Who is the supreme? Is it Brahma? Is it Mahadev? Is it Indra? Is it Chandra? Is it Vishnu? Who is the person who's qualified to receive all our worship? And they found one devotee, Bhrigu Muni. Bhrigu Muni was one of the most exalted among the sages, and he was chosen to be the person to go ahead and figure out who is that person who deserves our worship. ವೇದಗಳನೆ ಓದುತ್ತಾ ಹರಿಯನ್ನು ಕೊಂಡಾಡುತ್ತಾ. So he started to recite the Vedas and he recited the holy names of Krishna, and he left to the higher planetary systems. ಹರಿಯನ್ನು ಕೊಂಡಾಡುತ್ತಾ ಇರುವ ಬೊಮ್ಮನ ನೋಡಿದ ಕೈಲಾಸಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದನು ಶಂಭು ಕಂಠನು ಪಾರ್ವತಿಯು ಕಲತಿರುವುದ ಕಂಡನು, ಸೃಷ್ಟಿಯೊಳಗೆ ನಿನ್ನ ಲಿಂಗ ಶ್ರೇಷ್ಠವಾಗಲೆಂದನು. ವೈಕುಂಠಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದನು ವಾರಿ ಜಕ್ಷನ ಕಂಡನು, ಕೆಟ್ಟ ಕೋಪದಿಂದ ಒದ್ದರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ನೊಂದಿತೆಂದನು. ತಟ್ಟನೆ ಬಿಸಿ ನೀರಿನಿಂದ ನೆಟ್ಟಗೆ ಪಾದ ತೊಳೆದನು, ಬಂದ ಕಾರ್ಯ ಆಯಿತೆಂದು ಅಂದು ಮುನಿಯು ತೆರಳಿದ. So he went to Brahmaloka and he saw that Brahma was very engaged and he was not paying attention to him. And he realized that Brahma cannot be the person who deserves the sacrifices of all the sages. And then he left to Kailash, where Lord Shiva was busy with Parvati Devi. And he also felt offended because he saw that Lord Shiva was not paying attention to Bhrigumuni. And when Bhrigumuni entered, he was very busy with Parvati Devi. And so he actually became so upset that he curses both Brahma and Shiva. And he told Brahma that you will not be worshipped in Kali Yuga. And in fact, you don't see Brahma temple. And he cursed Mahadev that, oh, because you're so engaged with your pastimes of family life, I'm going to curse you to that you will not be worshipped in your form, but you will be worshipped as a Shiva Linga. You will be worshipped as Linga is private part of men. So Linga is Mahadev's private part. So that's how he's going to be worshipped. And in fact, you do not see Lord Shiva in the full form. You usually see Mahadev in the Linga form. So this is a curse that was uttered by Bhrigumuni. And so when he came to Vaikuntha Loka, he was in a similar position because all these demigods were testing Bhrigumuni as well. So Vishnu saw him with the corner of his eyes, but he didn't pay attention to him. And he did I already say that one? Yeah. Vaikunthakke bandanu vari jakshana kandanu. Vari jaksha is Krishna. He saw Krishna lying down on the Ananta Shesh, and Lakshmi Devi was with him. And also Vishnu didn't pay attention to him immediately. So he got so furious. He just walked right up to Vishnu and kicked him on the chest. And so you can see that's where Lakshmi Devi resides on him. So he kicked Vishnu on his chest. And then Vishnu was like, oh, poor Rishi, your soft feet must be hurting because you kicked my diamond-like hard chest. And Lakshmi heard this and she became really upset. And she was like, okay, this is not fair. So what happens next is ತಟ್ಟನೆ ಬಿಸಿ ನೀರಿನಿಂದ ನೆಟ್ಟಗೆ ಪಾದ ತೊಳೆದನು, ಬಂದ ಕಾರ್ಯ ಆಯಿತೆಂದು ಅಂದು ಮುನಿಯು ತೆರಳಿದ. ಬಂದು ನಿಂದು ಸಭೆಯೊಳಗೆ ಇಂದಿರೇಶನ ಹೊಗಳಿದ, ಪತಿಯ ಕೂಡ ಕಲಹ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೊಲ್ಹಾಪುರಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದಳು. ಪತಿಯು ಹೊರಟು ಗಿರಿಗೆ ಬಂದು ಸೇರಿದ, ಹುತ್ತದಲ್ಲೇ 10,000 ವರುಷ ಗುಪ್ತವಾಗಿದ್ದನು. So this whole pastime happened in between. That Lakshmi Devi becomes so upset. She felt insulted because Vishnu was kicked in the place where she resides. And how can you let a mere human being kick you in the place that I reside? How can you let that happen? So she gets upset and she comes to Kolhapura. If you go to Maharashtra, in Kolhapura, there's Lakshmi Devi temple. She came there to perform tapasya. And Vishnu was feeling so much separation from her that he came down to earth searching for her consort, her lord, because she left and he also left, and Vaikuntha became empty. And after that, Vishnu was waiting to find Lakshmi Devi, but he could not find. He was exhausted and he was roaming around the forest, and he went into a special place. I'm going to read that. ನಂದು ಸಭೆಯೊಳಗೆ ಇಂದಿರೇಶನ ಪವಳಿದ ಗಿರಿಗೆ ಬಂದು ಸೇರಿದ. ಹುತ್ತದಲ್ಲೇ 10,000 ವರ್ಷ ಗುಪ್ತವಾಗಿದ್ದನು. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮದೇನು ವಾದನು ರುದ್ರವತ್ಸನಾದನು. ಧೇನು ಮುಂದೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಗೋಪಿ ಹಿಂದೆ ಬಂದಳು. What happens is, after that, when Vishnu came, it says that for 10,000 years he was hiding, and he was hiding and residing in one of the hills there. And then Brahmaji and Shiva could not see Mahavishnu, Lord Vishnu, Govinda ji in this position. By the way, Prabhupada said that Balaji is Krishna himself. He is not any other incarnation, is Krishna. Because he has the same mood of Krishna. He came to fulfill the desire of Yashoda. So when Krishna was waiting, Brahma came as a cow, Surabhi cow, and Mahadev came as a calf. And they both came, and how they came was Durga Devi, she dressed herself as a cowherd maid, and she brought cow and calf to the king. And she sold this cow and calf by telling how precious this cow and calf are, that they give unlimited milk. And the milk that you drink from this cow, it can cure any disease and nourish your prince. Tenu munde maadikondu gopi hinde bandalu. ಕೋಟಿ ಹೊನ್ನು ಬಾಳುವುದು ಕೊಡದ ಹಾಲು ಕರೆವುದು ಪ್ರೀತಿಯಿಂದಲಿ ತನ್ನ ಮನೆಗೆ ತಂದುಕೊಂಡನು ಚೋಳನು ಅಂದುರಾಯ ಮಡದಿ andurayan. That's the next paragraph. So what happens is, when she comes to the king, his name is Chola, the Chola dynasty king. So he becomes impressed by this cow and calf. It can give you unlimited, it can give you so much milk that it's worth pots and pots of gold. So she convinced, and the king happily took this calf and the cow. And then what happens? Okay. ಪ್ರೀತಿಯಿಂದಲೇ ತನ್ನ ಮನೆಗೆ ತಂದುಕೊಂಡನು ಚೋಳನು ಅಂದುರಾಯನ ಮಡದಿ ಕೊಪ್ಪಿಸಿ ಬಂದು ಗೋಪನ ಹೊಡೆದಳು. ದೇನು ಮುಂದೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಗೋಪ ಹಿಂದೆ ನಡೆದನು. ಕಾಮದೇನು ಕರೆದ ಹಾಲು ಹರಿಯ ಶಿರಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿದ್ದಿತು. ಇಷ್ಟು ಕಷ್ಟ ಬಂದಿತೆಂದು ಪೆಟ್ಟು ಬಡಿಯೇ ಹೋದನು. ಕೃಷ್ಣ ತನ್ನ ಮನದಲ್ಲಿ ಯೋಚಿಸಿಕೊಟ್ಟ ತನ್ನ ಶಿರವನು. 7 ತಾಳೆ ಮರದ ಉದ್ದ ಏಕವಾಗಿ ಹರಿಯಿತು. ರಕ್ತವನ್ನು ನೋಡಿ ಗೋಪ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸ್ವರ್ಗಕ್ಕೇರಿದ. ಕಷ್ಟವನ್ನು ನೋಡಿ ಗೋವು ಅಷ್ಟು ಬಂದು ಹೇಳಿತು. ತಟನೆರಾಯ ಎದ್ದು ಗಿರಿಗೆ ಬಂದು ಬೇಗ ಸೇರಿದ. Meanwhile, there was a whole other pastime happening, which it is revealed in the Puranas as well. So one day, the queen, Chola's queen, she would notice that this cow was not giving any milk. And so why this Kamadenu is not giving any milk? What is happening? So she told the cowherd boy, if you do not go and catch this cow, whatever nonsense it is doing, and if you do not bring the milk that my prince is supposed to take it, I'm going to kill you. So then she becomes really angry. And so she came and beat the cowherd boy, and she told him, you better get your act together and go and find out what's happening. So what the cowherd boy did, he kept the cow in the front, and he went to follow the cow. And the cow went in a anthill. In the anthill, there were these holes, right? So the cow would stand there and continuously pour milk inside those holes. And this cowherd boy becomes very disturbed, perplexed, overwhelmed. He gets confused. So what he does, he just takes his axe, and he goes and he's about to kill the cow. ಇಷ್ಟು ಕಷ್ಟ ಬಂದಿತೆಂದು ಪೆಟ್ಟು ಬಡಿಯೇ ಹೋದನು. ಕೃಷ್ಣ ತನ್ನ ಮನದಲ್ಲಿ ಯೋಚಿಸಿಕೊಟ್ಟ ತನ್ನ ಶಿರವನು. So the coward was so angry with this cow. Because of you, I got beaten by the queen, and I'm going to get killed if I do not do something. So he took the axe and he was about to kill the cow, and from within the anthill, Govinda came up, Krishna came up, because Krishna is never going to let a cow be hurt. So Krishna immediately came up and he said, I'm going to give my head instead of getting the cow head. So immediately he got up, and that axe hit right on Krishna's forehead here. 7 ತಾಳ ಮರದ ಉದ್ದ ಏಕವಾಗಿ ಹರಿಯಿತು. ರಕ್ತವನ್ನು ನೋಡಿ ಗೋಪ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸ್ವರ್ಗಕ್ಕೇರಿದ. Imagine the Supreme Lord, by the way, that's one of the pastimes when you see Govinda Ji's uh, eyes, they are always like half closed. You'll never see Balaji with open eyes. Because this incarnation, when he came down to earth, he was so powerful. His vision was so powerful that this boy the first person he saw actually was this cowherd boy. So when he got up to prevent the cow from being hurt, he immediately looked at the boy, and when the boy died because of the what do you say, the potency, he went to Swarga. Of course, he got liberated and he went to heavenly planets. ಕಷ್ಟವನ್ನು ನೋಡಿ ಗೋವು ಅಷ್ಟು ಬಂದು ಹೇಳಿತು, ತಟ್ಟನೆ ರಾಯ ಎದ್ದು ಗಿರಿಗೆ ಬಂದು ಬೇಗ ಸೇರಿದ. The cow wasn't quiet. The cow went running to the king. And back then, those days, they used to have these bell system. Whenever anybody is in distress, you go and ring a bell. So the cow went and started ringing the bell. So the cow went and started ringing the bell. And the king came out and said, what happened? And the king brought this Chola Raja to the location. Oof. And then the other story happens now. ಏನು ಕಷ್ಟ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಯಾವ ಪಾಪಿ ಮಾಡಿದ, ಇಷ್ಟು ಕಷ್ಟ ಕೊಟ್ಟವಾಗೆ ಭ್ರಷ್ಟ ಪಿಶಾಚಿಯಾಗೆಂದ, ಪೆಟ್ಟು ವೇದನೆ ತಾಳಲಾಗದೆ ಬೃಹಸ್ಪತಿಯ ಕರೆಸಿದ, ಅರುಣ ಉದಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಔಷಧಕ್ಕೆ ಪೋದನು. So the king comes there and he's clueless what happened, who killed who, what's happening actually, right? So he becomes like, who did this, and which sinner did this? So he gets upset with the Lord looking at this boy being dead, right? He gets burned to ashes because of the potency of Krishna's vision. And also he was trying to hurt a cow. Let's remember that. He was trying to hurt the cow. He was not trying to hurt the Lord. He was trying to hurt the cow, but the Lord came in between and interfered. But still, Krishna was upset that this boy was trying to hurt the cow. So the king didn't understand what actually was happening. And so he actually gets cursed and becomes a ghost. Ishtu kashta kottavage, the Lord is like, oh, you don't even understand what's going on. So he actually becomes a ghost, but later on he gets liberated, like meaning he actually gets his mukti, liberation. And then immediately what else happens is, by the way, that king's dynasty, they make the Vajra Mukuta and everything. There is like a whole beautiful story. There's always inner meaning of why the Chola Raja was cursed to become the ghost and how he actually does get liberated. And there's a lot of meaningful story. If you go to Tirumala, you will be able to hear that. Then what happens? The Lord is in great pain because the axe that hit him on his forehead and his chin. And so he was really bleeding. And he could not tolerate the pain. ಪೆಟ್ಟು ವೇದನೆ ತಾಳಲಾರದೆ ಬೃಹಸ್ಪತಿಯ ಕರೆಸಿದ, ಅರುಣ ಉದಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಎದ್ದು ಔಷಧಕ್ಕೆ ಪೋದನು, ಕ್ರೂಢರೂಪಿಯ ಕಂಡನು ಕೂಡಿ ಮಾತನಾಡಿದನು, ಇರುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಥಳವು ಕೆನಗೆ ಏರ್ಪಾಡಾಗಬೇಕೆಂದ. This is another beautiful pastime between Varahadev and Balaji. First, he calls Brihaspati, who is the guru of the Devatas, and he asks for medicines to be cured of his pain. So Brihaspati comes, and in the morning he prepares the medicines and he gives, but there is nothing happening due to that medicines. And then he meets Varahadev on the hill, and Varahadev is the lord of lands and properties because he is Bhu Varaha Swami. He protected Mother Earth, so the earth belongs to him. And Vishnu, Govinda Ji, wants residence. He wants a piece of land so he can stay there. So he meets Varaha Swami there, and they have a deal that, okay, I will give you this part of the earth, but the deal will be that anybody who visits you should visit me first. So that's a deal between Varaha Swami and Balaji. So when you go to Tirupati, you should first go and have the darshan of Varaha Swami, who gave the permission to Balaji. And now you may wonder, Varaha, Vishnu, aren't they the same? Isn't it the same personality? Yes, they are the same personality in different incarnations, but these are the leelas created to show us the significance of the mood of the deity, the bhava of the deity. So every incarnation, there is a specific mood with which the Lord appears. ನೂರು ಪಾದ ಭೂಮಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಮೊದಲು ಪೂಜೆ ನಿಮಗೆಂದ, ಪಾಕಪಕ್ವ ಮಾಡುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಕೆ ಬಹು ಆಕೆ ಆಕೆ ಬ that's different. ನೂರು ಪಾದ ಭೂಮಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಮೊದಲು ಪೂಜೆ ನಿಮಗೆಂದ ಪಾಕ ಪಕ್ವ ಮಾಡುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಕೆ ಬಹುಳೆ ಬಂದಳು. So there was a deal, like they had to write a contract that Varaha Swami is giving him the land and he was going to give him nuru pada, means 100 feet, you can say, something like that. Like actually it's much bigger than 100 feet. I don't know what exactly pada in this context would mean, but 100 of something. I don't know exactly what measurement that would mean. So he had a deal that I will do first your worship. And then to make that settlement, Bahule is the Yashoda. She was invited. ಭಾನುಕೋಟಿ ತೇಜನೀಗ ಬೇಟೆಯಾಡ ಹೊರಟನು, ಮಂಡೆ ಬಾಚಿ ದೊಂಡೆ ಹಾಕಿ ದುಂಡು ಮಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಮುಡಿದನು, ಹಾರ ಪದಕ ಕೊರಳಲ್ ಹಾಕಿ ಹಣೆಗೆ ತಿಲಕವಿಟ್ಟನು, ಅಂಗುಲಿಗೆ ಉಂಗುರ ರಂಗ ಶೃಂಗಾರವಾದನು. So I love this description. So Mother Yashoda, she took care of Krishna. She was waiting for him for such a long time, right? Yes, finally he's here in the lands of Varaha Swami. And then she put camphor on his forehead to protect that bleeding, to stop that bleeding, both on his chin and on his forehead. And then what did Krishna do? Immediately he got ready to go and what do you call bete? Bete is, I don't know what you call it. Go into the, like Kshatriyas go into the forest and hunt. He wanted to go and hunt. So he came and he was shining like 100 suns and his beauty was incomparable. And Mande bachi donde haki dundu mallige mudidanu. So he took all his beautiful long hair, Krishna Veni, he has his long beautiful hair. He took all of that and he made it into like a bun and he put it on the side. And then he put flowers on it. Hara padaka koralal haki hanege tilakavittanu. And then he was wearing several garlands and he was wearing tilak. Angulige ungura ranga shringara vadanu. So he was also wearing a beautiful ring to his finger and he got ready. ಪಟ್ಟೆನುಟ್ಟು ಕಟ್ಟೆ ಕಚ್ಚಿ ಪಿತಾಂಬರವ ಹೊದ್ದನು, ಢಾಳು ಕತ್ತಿ ಉಡಿಯಲ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿ ಜೋಡು ಕಲಲಿ ಮೆಟ್ಟಿದ, ಕರದಿ ಬೆಳ್ಳೆ ವನ್ನೆ ಪಿಡಿದು ಕನ್ನಡಿಯ ನೋಡಿದ, ಕನಕಭೂಷಣವಾದ ತೊಡೆಗೆ ಕಮಲನಾಭ ತೊಟ್ಟನು, ಕನಕಭೂಷಣವಾದ ಕುದುರೆ ಕಮಲನಾಭ ಏರಿದ, ಕರಿಯ ಹಿಂದೆ ಹರಿಯು ಬರಲು ಕಾಂತೆರೆಲ್ಲ ಕಂಡರು. Now begins the romantic leela. ಪಟ್ಟೆನುಟ್ಟು ಕಚ್ಚೆ ಕಟ್ಟಿ ಪೀತಾಂಬರವ ಹೊದ್ದನು. ಪೀತಾಂಬರಧರ, Krishna is ಪೀತಾಂಬರಧರ. He's wearing these yellow garments, beautifully flowing yellow garments outfit, and he's wearing beautiful anklets in his feet, and he has the sword stuck to his waist, and he's having these wooden shoes, and he has a beautiful mirror that he's holding up to and looking at his own beautiful form. Kanakabhushanavada todege kamalanabha tottida. So he was described as wearing this sword that was, it was increasing the beauty of his thighs, and he also jumped on a horse, which was Kanakabhushanava. That horse was bedecked with gold. The horse was wearing golden jewelry. So Kamalanabha means he's the one who has the lotus navel, the lotus eyes. He jumped on this horse, and as he was going right into the forest, he saw some group of girls, gopi girls, princesses, beautifully bedecked with in ornaments and beautiful silken clothes and flowers decorated in their hair and the garlands around them, rushing because of looking at an elephant which had just attacked them. So this was happening as Krishna entered the forest and he saw all these gopi girls running. Kanterella kandaru, kariya hinde hariyu baralu. So and then what Lord Krishna did, he started to go behind this elephant and he tried to protect these gopis. ಯಾರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುವರೆಂದು ದೂರ ಹೋಗಿರೆಂದರು, ನಾರಿಯರಿರುವ ಸ್ಥಳಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವ ಪುರುಷ ಬರುವನು, ಎಷ್ಟು ಹೇಳೆ ಕೇಳೆ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಕುದುರೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟನು, ಅಷ್ಟು ಮಂದಿರೆಲ್ಲ ಸೇರಿ ಪಟ್ಟುಗಳನ್ನು ಹೊಡೆದರು, ಕಲ್ಲು ಮಳೆಯ ಕರೆದರಾಗ ಕುದುರೆ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಬಿದ್ದಿತು, ಕೇಶ ಬಿಚ್ಚಿ ವಾಸುದೇವ ಶೇಷಗಿರಿಗೆ ಬಂದನು. This is like a very special leela between, oh, why are you coming here? Who are you? I mean, it's Krishna after all, right? And Krishna didn't give up trying to rescue these gopis. And then he protected them from the elephants. But then the gopis were very like, oh, you're not supposed to be here. There are all supposed to be girls here. And then they threw stones at the horse and made Krishna come down. And then they wanted to see the beautiful form of Krishna. So by this pretext of throwing stones, they made the beautifully tied hair of Krishna loosen up, and his kesha bichi Vasudeva Sheshagirige Bandhan. So his hair got opened up, and there was the Princess Padmavati among these girls. And when she saw him, she was immediately captivated. And what happens to our dear Balaji is another story. ಪರಮಾನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಉಣ್ಣು ಬೇಗ ಎಂದಳು ಅಮ್ಮ ಎನಗೆ ಅನ್ನ ಬೇಡ ಎನ್ನ ಮಗನೆ ವೈರಿಯೇ ಕಣ್ಣಿಲ್ಲದ ದೈವ ಅವಳ ನಿರ್ಮಾಣವ ಮಾಡಿದ ಯಾವ ದೇಶ ಯಾವಳಾಕೆ ನನಗೆ ಪೇಳು ಎಂದಳು ನಾರಾಯಣನ ಪುರಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿ ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣರ ಪೂಜಿಸಿ ಕುಂಜಮಣಿಯ ಕೊರಳಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿ ಕೂಸಿನ ಕಂಕಳಲೊತ್ತಿದ. So what Vishnu did, Krishna comes back to Bakula Devi and she's made him a feast. And she says, please eat. And he says, no, I'm not hungry. I cannot believe my own son is my enemy. You know who she's talking about? He's talking about Brahma, because Brahma creates all the living entities, as we're studying in Srimad Bhagavatam. So he says, I can't take my mind off this girl that I saw. And how could Brahma be so cruel by creating something so beautiful that I can't take my mind off her? I just cannot. Kannillada daiva avala nirvanava madida. He must not even had eyes, because he could not even resist the beauty of that girl. And then immediately Bakula Devi understands, and then they make a special strategic plan. So Krishna dresses as a cowherd girl. I mean, not cowherd. She dresses as an astrologer, like, predictions, those who go around predicting the future. So he dresses himself as a woman predictor, astrologer. And then he goes, Kunjamaniya Koralal Haki, he wears the Kunjamani, and then he goes in the disguise of a astrologer. And then he reaches the Kusu actually, because Padmavati was very young. She was a very young princess. So Padmavati, he reaches, and as an astrologer, Srinivasa is sitting there and looking at Padmavati and looking at her hand and predicting something. He's basically predicting what he wants that should happen. ಧರಣಿ ದೇವಿಗೆ ಕಣಿಯ ಹೇಳಿ ಗಿರಿಗೆ ಬಂದು ಸೇರಿದ ಕಾಂತೆರೆಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಆಗ ಬಹುಳೆ ಬಂದಳು ಬನ್ನಿರೆಮ್ಮ ಸದನಕ್ಕೆನುತ ಬಹಳ ಮಾತನಾಡಿದರು ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿ ಬಂಧು ಬಳಗ ಹೊನ್ನು ಹಣ ಉಂಟೆಂದರು ಎಷ್ಟು ಪರಿಯಲಿದ್ದವಗೆ ಕನ್ಯಾ ಯಾಕೆ ದೊರಕಿಲ್ಲ ದೊಡ್ಡವಳಿಗೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಲ್ಲ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮದುವೆ ಮಾಡುವೆವು. So there's this whole deal taking place here. After the palmist says, oh, the person you just saw, you're going to marry him, and he also has his heart on you and you love this person. And basically Srinivasa triggers the desire also in Padmavati Devi. And then after he told the future to Dharini Devi, so there is Shri Devi and there is Bhu Devi. Okay, so Bhu Devi is Padmavati Devi. So Dharini Devi is Bhu Devi, and Padmavati Devi is expansion of Dharini Devi. So, I mean, expansion, or it is her. So you can see here Balaji has Shri Devi and Bhu Devi. Both are on his chest. So after that, he comes to the hill, and Bakula Devi gets together with all the family and talks to the parents of Padmavati's father and mother. And they discuss, and the parents ask, how come if your son is so great as you're describing, why is he still not married? And then Bakula Devi says, no, he's married. He has the older wife, but the older wife doesn't have children. That's why we're getting him married again. Look at the intricacies of the situation. And then she says, he has everything, he has a lot of money. There is nothing, no lack in our boy. And so then they ask why he's not married. Say, oh, because we don't have children from this, so we want. ಬೃಹಸ್ಪತಿಯ ಕರೆಸಿದ ಲಗ್ನ ಪತ್ರಿಕೆ ಬರೆಸಿದ ಶುಕ್ರಾಚಾರ್ಯರ ಕರೆಸಿದ ಮದುವೆ ಓಲೆ ಬರೆಸಿದ ವಲ್ಲಭೇನ ಕರೆವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಕೊಲ್ಲಾಪುರಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದರು ಗರುಡನೆಗಲ ನೇರಿಕೊಂಡು ಬೇಗ ಹೊರಟು ಬಂದರು ಅಷ್ಟವರ್ಗವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿ ಇಷ್ಟು ದೇವರ ಪೂಜಿಸಿ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿ ಸಹಿತ ಆಕಾಶರಾಜನ ಪಟ್ಟಣಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದರು. And they're not going to get the bride and groom married without Lakshmi Devi. The whole pastime of her coming here was to make this happen. Some unauthorized, bogus people who may say, oh, Lakshmi was envious or Lakshmi was fighting, but actually it was not the situation. It was a different Leela. It was all meant to happen in this particular way. And when Brihaspati went and he prepared the marriage invitation, and then Shukracharya also came, and then Garuda was sent along with others to go and receive Lakshmi Devi for the wedding, and they all went, and she jumped on the Garuda, and they actually came back. Then they made the Ashtavarga, they made the whole ceremony in the most perfect way, and it was the most expensive wedding in the existence of universes. There was no such wedding ever seen in the past. I had never seen and will never see. That is the wedding of Balaji. Ashtavarga vanne ಮಾಡಿ ಇಷ್ಟ ದೇವರ ಪೂಜಿಸಿ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿ ಸಹಿತ ಆಕಾಶರಾಜನ ಪಟ್ಟಣಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದರು. So all the demigods arrived at this spot where the wedding was happened. ಕನಕಭೂಷಣವಾದ ತೊಡೆಗೆ ಕಮಲನಾಭ ತೊಟ್ಟನು, ಕನಕಭೂಷಣವಾದ ಮಂಟಪ ಕಮಲನಾಭ ಏರಿದ, ಕಮಲನಾಭಗೆ ಕಾಂತಿಮಣಿಯ ಕನ್ಯಾದಾನವ ಮಾಡಿದ, ಕಮಲನಾಭ ಕಾಂತಿ ಕೈಗೆ ಕಂಕಣವನ್ನೇ ಕಟ್ಟಿದ, ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ ಪದ್ಮಾವತಿಗೆ ಮಾಂಗಲ್ಯವ ಕಟ್ಟಿದ, ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸನ ಮದುವೆ ನೋಡೆ ಸ್ತ್ರೀಯರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಬನ್ನಿರೆ, ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ ಪದ್ಮಾವತಿಗೆ ಮಾಂಗಲ್ಯವ ಕಟ್ಟಿದ, ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸನ ಮದುವೆ ನೋಡೆ ಸ್ತ್ರೀಯರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಬನ್ನಿರೆ, ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ ಪದ್ಮಾವತಿಗೆ ಮಾಂಗಲ್ಯವ ಕಟ್ಟಿದ, ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸನ ಮದುವೆ ನೋಡೆ ಸ್ತ್ರೀಯರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಪದ್ಮಾವತಿಯ ಮದುವೆ ನೋಡೆ ಮುದ್ದು ಬಾಲಯ್ಯರು ಬನ್ನಿರೆ, ಶಂಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಹಣವ ಸುರಿದು ವೆಂಕಟೇಶನ ಕಳುಹಿದ, ಲಕ್ಷ ತಪ್ಪು ಎನ್ನಲುಂಟು ಪಕ್ಷಿವಾಹನ ಸಲಹೆನ್ನ, ಕೋಟಿ ತಪ್ಪು ಎನ್ನಲುಂಟು ಕುಸುಮನಾಭ ಸಲಹೆನ್ನ, ಶಂಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ವರವ ಕೊಡುವ ವೆಂಕಟೇಶ ಸಲಹೆನ್ನ, ಭಕ್ತಿಯಿಂದ ಹೇಳಿ ಕೇಳಿದ ಮುಕ್ತಿ ಕೊಡುವ ಹಯವದನ, ಜಯ ಜಯ ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸಗೆ ಜಯ ಜಯ ಪದ್ಮಾವತಿಗೆ, ಒಲಿದಂತಹ ಶ್ರೀಹರಿಗೆ ನಿತ್ಯ ಶುಭ ಮಂಗಳ, ಶೇಷಾದ್ರಿ ಗಿರಿವಾಸ ಶ್ರೀದೇವಿ ಅರಸಗೆ, ಕಲ್ಯಾಣ ಮೂರುತಿಗೆ ನಿತ್ಯ ಜಯ ಮಂಗಳ, ಕಲ್ಯಾಣ ಮೂರುತಿಗೆ ನಿತ್ಯ ಜಯ ಮಂಗಳ, ನಿತ್ಯ ಜಯ ಮಂಗಳ, ನಿತ್ಯ ಶುಭ ಮಂಗಳ. So this beautiful arrangements of flower decorations bedecked with jewels, and all the beautiful demigoddesses dressed in their opulent clothes, and there was gold everywhere, and Kamalanabaги Kantimaniya Kanyadanava Madida, and the father of Padmavati Devi handed over to Srinivasa in Kanyadana, the beautiful princess. And then immediately Balaji, Srinivasa, he tied Kankana. Kankana is tied right before the wedding to Padmavati's hand. Srinivasa Padmavatige Mangalyava Kattida, and then Srinivasa tied the Mangal Sutra in the neck of Padmavati Devi. Srinivasana Maduve Node Striyarellaru Bannire. So this is Padmavati Devi, you can see here. This is Srinivasa and Padmavati. This is the deity there. And actually, the deity in Tirupati is not carved deity. It's actually the Lord himself who turned into stone right there. And the story is such that in the previous Kali Yuga he appeared. So you can actually see the Lord's feet. I mean, you can't see the Lord's feet because the feet is already under Viraja river. Because under the Tirumala hill down there is Viraja river. And so the Balaji's feet is actually already inside. And the story is that by the end of this Kali Yuga, Balaji is going to keep going under, and his whole body will be under the river. So that's the progression in Kali Yuga, that he will disappear in the end of Kali Yuga. So this pastime of Padmavati and Srinivasa's wedding, all the young girls, and they listen to this, and when they recite and when they remember these pastimes, so much auspiciousness comes. And this paragraph is very amazing. Laksha tappu ennaluntu pakshivahana salahenna, koti tappu ennaluntu kusumanabha salahenna. These are all names of Krishna. Pakshivahana, Kusumanabha, Venkatesha, Mukti Dayaka. These are all names of Krishna. And the other side, on the left side, is all our faults. Laksha tappu ennaluntu. I have like thousands of character defects. Koti tappu ennallu untu. Like I have crores of defects in me, and I'm prone to making mistakes, my dear Lord. And Shankhe illade varava koduva Venkatesha salahenna. So Venkata means the one who cuts the difficulties. Venkata. And so he removes all the difficulties and he gives us unlimited blessing. And you can actually see the hands of the Lord. Usually deities are like this, right? Giving. And Balaji is in the receiving hand. He is receiving us. He's receiving our service. He's in the receiver mode. You know why? Because to be able to perform this wedding, Balaji had to take a big loan from Kubera. And the story is that till the end of this Kali Yuga, he will be paying it back. So he's still paying it back. That's why the richest temple in the world is the Balaji Tirupati temple, because he collects a lot of money because he has to pay back to Kubera. And in Tirupati, there are so many people who go and give their hair because the Lord really loves hair. Kesha Bichi Vasudeva Sheshagirige Bandhan. So the hair is one of the famous things. I also had made a vow that when my Guru Maharaj was in coma, we almost lost him. He was in coma for weeks. And one of my vows is if he comes back, like if he survives, I'll shave my head. So like that, several people make vows that they will shave their head if they get certain desires met. Like that. And so Balaji is very, very merciful in giving benedictions to devotees. I have some pictures of Srinivasa Kalyana pictures. One of my favorite is this. I mean, there are a few. Let me open a few. This is one of them. Let's see, Balaji and Srinivasa and Padmavati Devi. And there is Lakshmi Devi right here. Saraswati, different demigods are all present. Narada Muni is here, Garuda is here, Brahmaji is here, Mahadev is here. Oh, sorry, this is Brahmaji. This is Brahaspati. This is Brahmaji. This is Shiva, Shukadeva, there's Hanuman. I mean, all the demigods were present. This is a beautiful. Usually this kind of paintings, you see these golden crowns and jewelry, they are really made from gold. That's why you see the price of this. It costs like 240,000 for this painting, because they really have these gold-plated things on these kiritams. It's like a 3D. And this is another picture, also very famous picture. I have this picture with me. This is Srinivasa Kalyana. And you can see the Lord is having 4 arms here. And there is this little baby Ganesh is here, and there's Muruga. There's so many deities here. Everybody is present, and this is the father and mother of Padmavati Devi. So, Yedukundalavada, Venkatramana, Govinda, Govinda, Anatha Rakshaka, Apat Bandhava, Govinda, Govinda. So, Shri Balaji Bhagavan ki jai, Padmavati Devi ki jai, Tirumala Tirupati ki jai. And you can actually see, let me find that original Tirupati original. There is one picture, this one, the one I have here, this is the original. Everything else is not, this is the original. You see this? There's only one picture actually of Balaji. See, you see here the silver feet, right? But actually the deity behind the feet is already down under the mountain. It's already little like the feet is in. He only has from his ankles up. The feet is not actually even visible even to the pujaris. But they just put the silver dress that appears to be like the feet is there. Oh, and then, oh my God, there were so many pastimes. For example, on certain days, they make the tilak smaller. Okay, like he has this tilak, right? So in Tirumala, they make the tilaks little smaller. And those days that the tilak is made smaller, thieves get caught on the hill, because there are thieves not stealing things on the hill from pilgrims. So they get caught on the day that the tilak is small, because you can't escape. And then, yeah, like that, there are so many sevas. They do Srinivasa Kalyana every day on the hill. every day they are performing this marriage ceremony. And this song, I mean, there's another song by Purandaradasa as well. He also sang Srinivasa Kalyana. It's a different version. I like this one because it's very, very, very poetic, this particular Vadiraja one. We can do Purandaradasa another day. Okay, let me see if I left out anything else I really wanted to share. I mean, yeah, he very quickly fulfills our desires and he understands our separation and our moods. Yes, Taruni Radha, maybe you want to add something to the discussion.
Oh, no, Mataji. I just wanted to say, like, how many times I've been to Tirupati, but then I did not know the whole pastime. It was so beautiful. Thank you so much. And in fact, like, why even today I used to be like, till today, I was wondering why, the front part, that the forehead is always covered and I can't see his eyes. That's what I used to always wonder. So nicely you said that. And every year for my parents' anniversary, they go there, they do the Srinivasa Kalyana, because every day it's done, right? On their anniversary day, they'll make sure they'll go there and attend that. So I'm going to share this with my mom. She'll really love it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very intense. The Balaji's eyes are so intense. That's why his eyes are half closed, because we cannot handle the intensity.
Right. I had just one question, Madhuri. Still something which I'm not able to understand. Is like Lakshmi comes because she wants to get married to Narayan, right? But then she comes and attends the wedding. So I didn't understand that part.
Sorry, say that again.
Lakshmi comes, right, to get married to Narayana, but then he's getting married to Padmavati, and Lakshmi is attending the marriage. So I did not understand that.
She doesn't come to get married. She's already married to Narayana.
So now, so Govinda is getting married to Rukmini. That's the thing. So Padmavati is Rukmini. Is that what you're?
No, Padmavati is the Vedavati from Rama's pastime. This is very special pastime because he comes specifically to fulfill her desire.
Okay, so it's for Vedavati he's coming, and he is Govinda himself. He's Krishna himself.
Yeah, he's Krishna himself. Puranas also say, Prabhupada also said it.
So this is Krishna getting married to Vedavati. Okay, got it. So that's what Lakshmi is like. Lakshmi wants to see the pastime. That's why she's come down. She gets upset because Bhrigu Muni will kick her, right? So she comes here. I thought she was upset with Narayana. That's why she comes here.
Oh yeah, she's very much upset. And then she goes to Kollapura. I mean, we're talking about what it says 10,000 years. And of course, back then it's like a different time thing. So she must have got pacified and they make peace. Look, they reside on the chest of the Lord very harmoniously.
What? They mean?
I mean, Sri Devi and Bhudevi and Sri Devi. Sri Devi is Lakshmi Devi who comes down becoming angry. Bhudevi is Padmavati Devi.
Okay, now I get it. Okay, got it. I was just so confused between both of them. Got it, Mataji. Perfect. Now I understood.
Something else I wanted to say about Sri Devi Bhudevi. There is the Bhagavatam also, we read it. You remember? Yadake bhumi balake Shri Yadurinalli Durga Devi Todaya Mele Lakumiyagi Bedade Muddadi Bante. There's a description in the Sri Bhagavatam also about different.
And one thing that I had heard, Mataji, was that when you see Tirupati Balaji, right, he's got his one hand on the left hand on his hip, correct, and the other right hand, you said, like, he's in an accepting position. But the other version, like, I think there's another interpretation of that is he's showing in his right hand he's pointing towards his feet. So he's telling everybody, as devotees, kindly take shelter of my lotus feet. Then this entire material universe in which you're drowning, right, in that you will be able to be I will, by my mercy, I will uplift you in such in a way wherein he can breathe up till your waist, just like how he's kept his hand, the left hand, till his waist.
Yeah, it's like he's saying, surrender to me, like give yourself, make your life dhanya, make your life useful.
That was one of the first thing that I heard when I came to ISKCON temple in Dallas, Texas. I was like, gosh, I've been to the temple so many times and never understood. That's the reason why his hands are always pointing down to the feet. Yeah, so beautiful.
Like he's saying, take shelter, surrender. Come, I'm here. Why are you going running around here and there? Come here.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
I love the
I
point that you
remembered
said.
other thing. There is a version, like it's like a more popular version. It's not Shastrik, I think. How when Lakshmi arrives there and then they start fighting, Lakshmi and Padmavati start fighting, and then the Lord says, I'm tired of you both fighting. I'm going to become a stone and I'm going to remain here if you keep fighting. And they kept fighting, and then the Lord became a stone. There are all these kind of versions that we should be careful. From what I understand, they were actually very much in harmony.
But and whatever you added that he's Swayam Bhagavan, right? I did not know that. I thought he was like a deity. Deity is not different, but yeah, deity is not different. But you said like there's no like it's him. He himself became stone, right? So that I had not heard of. Wow, that's why he's so powerful.
Murti. There are many Udbhava Murtis. Balaji is one of the major ones. Udbhava Murti. There's so many self-manifested deities. In Melkote also Narasimhadeva is self-manifested. Ranganath is also because Brahmaji had these deities, so he gave these are like, how do you say, Udbhava Murtis, right? They are become the Lord himself manifests. And then when he gave to Vibhishan, and Vibhishan was about to carry, and that deity, he said, don't keep it anywhere. And when he was passing through to go to Lanka, he kept it in Sri Rangam because he had to go and pee. He gave it to a boy to hold it, but then the boy it became so heavy to hold that he kept it on the ground. And the deity just said, sorry, I'm going to look at Lanka, but I'm going to settle here. So that's right. So they're like that. There are several 11 deities, I think, that Brahmaji approved, something like this. So they are like self-Udbhava Murti, self-manifested deities.
Wow.
Zoom user is who? Is it Trisandhya or is it Sujata?
No, it's me, Trisandhya.
Haribol.
Thank you so much. It was so beautiful. Is that Tamil?
Kannada.
What is it? I'm sorry?
Kannada.
Ah, it's beautiful. Thank you so much.
It was a bit of like Hale Kannada, right, Mataji?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, very sweet. It was sounding so sweet. Maybe you can even just record the entire song in Kannada, the whole version, and then upload that also just like a file. I think it'll be like 2-3 minutes, right? The whole thing, we can just learn it up.
Yeah. It's less than 5 minutes.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Beautiful. Is there any other significance as to why when so many pilgrims come to see, or devotees come to see the Lordships in Tirupati, right? We just get just like few seconds only to see the Lord. Is there any significance?
Yeah, he's called the Kali Yuga Devata also. Like Mahaprabhu is in this age. Of course, he's Gupta, Channa Avatar. In previous Yuga, Balaji was the Kali Yuga deity.
Oh, that's why.
So there are these 3 names in 3 yugas. Because Balaji existed in all the yugas. Unlike other deities are only, specific yuga. But Anjanachala, Shesha, like right now it's called Venkatachala. So like that in every yuga, there was a name for Tirumala. Because it existed. Like Balaram went, and this is 5,000 years ago. Balaram visited Balaji 5,000 years ago, when during Kurukshetra he didn't fight and he was going on a pilgrimage and he went to see Balaji.
Did Mahaprabhu also visit Tirupati?
Yes, Mahaprabhu also.
Yeah. Tirumala Hills. Wow.
Yeah. So I'm so happy that we could do this today. It's a sweet pastime. There are many other leelas like Bavaji. There was one devotee called Bavaji. You should watch that movie sometime. It's very, very sweet. It's called Om Namo Venkateshaya. It's an amazing movie. Let me show you a trailer just to make you attracted to it. You can even watch yourself, but it would be nice if we could watch together. So this is the movie.
Everything you're going through,
Maybe I can play one of the songs. Oh, it's so beautiful. Om Namo Venkateshaya. Om Namo Srinivasaya.
hi, do you
Kilanda Koti Brahmanda Nayaka. This is the story of Balaji, one of the devotees. Oh, I love this movie so much.
अखिलांड कोटि ब्रह्मांड नायका आनंद निलय वर परिपालका
गोविंद गोविंद पुन्नमि वेन्नेल्ल गोविंद 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 चिन्नि पूमाल सेवल गोविंद गोविंद वेंकटेश वेन्नेल्ल गोविंद गोविंद पूमाल सेवल गोविंद गोविंद सदा वेंकटेशं स्मरामि स्मरामि सेवल गोविंद
अखिलांड कोटि ब्रह्मांड नायका आनंद निलय वर परिपालका श्री वेंकटेश श्रित संबंध सेवा भाग्यं देहि मुकुंद अखिलांड कोटि ब्रह्मांड नायका आनंद निलय वर परिपालका తిరుపదములకు తిరువడి దండలు శ్రీభూసతులకు సిరిహారములు తిరుపదములకు తిరువడి దండలు శ్రీభూసతులకు సిరిహారములు అకళంక శంఖ చక్రాలకు అపురూప కుసుమమాలికలు ఆజానుబాహు పర్యంతము అలరుల తావళహారములు అఖిలాండ కోటి బ్రహ్మాండ
I will stop there because if I play the whole song, the YouTube will remove this live telecast because you can't use YouTube videos to just do stuff on your channel. All right. So, Yedukundalavada Venkatramana Govinda Govinda. So,
Govinda.
wait on the lotus feet of Sri Balaji Bhagavan and ask him to receive us, the good and the bad parts of us, and to make us his servants, and to guide us, and to allow us to be an instrument in his hand, and to always be engaged in devotional service.
Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Please upload that whole thing, that whole, this whole song in another video. Really appreciate.
Okay. Yeah, I want to do it. And if we listen to this in loop 1,000 times or whatever, people can, like, for your daughters to get married or for us to improve our marriage. And also for anything, I chant this asking the Lord to help me with my projects with girls so they can.
So nice, Balaji. Thank you so much for your seva.
Thank you. Take care and Hari Bol. I have a class in less than 1 hour. I'm giving.